Hi, everybody. Carrie Mitchell here. I'm one of two instructional coaches at the Larimer campus, and I'd like to talk with you a few minutes in this video about some documents that you've probably received in your email this week. And so what are those documents? What are they all about? There are a few of them. The first one I'd like to pull up for you here is one that you should have received in an email. We're calling this Transitioning to Online Learning. And this is where your coaches are really giving you advice on what kinds of things you should be thinking about right now as you're planning, and then maybe what you might be saying to your students at this moment before class is actually back in session. And so these are some action items for things that you could be doing right now. And then here are some things to think about before March 30th when classes resume. So making a transition plan and sharing that plan, communicating that plan with your students. Eric and I listed all the steps here that you might want to include in that transition plan, but then we later created an actual template where we scripted this out for you and you can just kind of fill in the blanks with your particular course information. So I'll come back and talk about that template document in just a minute. And so there's some information in here. If you haven't already seen this email, you'll want to take a look at it. Another document that was attached to that email is meant for your students. And we're calling this one a practical guide to student success in online learning. Just as a lot of you did not intend to teach online this semester, your students did not intend to take these courses online. They may be very new to this modality. Some of them, if you're lucky, some of them have already taken online classes and they feel comfortable with D2L and using online as a learning platform, but plenty of them will not. And so we wanted to offer some advice from coaches to students so that they could think about how to be successful for the last 6 weeks of the semester. And so this is our document from the instructional coaches, from some of the instructional coaches to students. Our advice to them, we include practical advice for being successful in an online environment. And then we've also ended with some research-based study strategies. Normally our students are used to you pacing them along. They may not have that kind of pacing and time management built in with an online course. And so we wanted to offer them some research supported evidence for what kinds of practices work well and that they can actually implement on their own as they're finishing out the course. And then finally, I had mentioned earlier a template where Eric and I actually scripted a letter, I guess, or a note that you could write to your students. You could consider this kind of a welcome back to the class. And so we urge you to take a look at this template. This also should have come in an email, and go ahead and use it if you feel that it's helpful. We've tried to include all of the different items that we thought students should hear from you on. And so this is available for you to edit and use as you see fit. So those are really the three documents that I just wanted to draw your attention to. You are by no means required to use any of those documents, but we thought they could be helpful support tools as you're making this change. If you decide not to use any of those documents with your students, we encourage you to at least create something similar that is coming for you that kind of addresses those same outcomes. Okay, and finally, before closing up here, I just wanted to remind you that you have wonderful instructional coaches on each of the campuses that are here for you and available to help you over the next several weeks as you're teaching your courses in this new format. At Westminster, we have Joe Brinkert, who's awesome. Boulder, Catlin Keenan, who's a superstar. Online Learning, Allison Thoki, who's just amazing, especially with advice for teaching online. And so Larimer, you've got me and Eric. We are all here to support you during this time. If you have pedagogical questions about how to do certain things in an online platform, we are here to help you, or at least we are here to point you in the right direction for who can help you. So you're all doing great work. I'm sure of it. So hang in there, reach out when you need help. We're here for you. Thanks.